Indeed, we will find out here in the bottom left of Frost. We have the purple Zerg from Team Esports Club Visualize. He is winner against the green Protoss in the bottom right of Frost. He is Grubby. And these players briefly discussing the previous game, and I actually agree with Grubby. Like the third is really important if you want to hold a two base all in off of from Protoss.
You can hold with two bases, but it's just going to take so long. It was also something we didn't actually pick up that Grubby's mentioning, is that he cancelled the third and fourth gases.
Oh.
That's why the Zealots could be afforded, and so many of them. Maybe with some Roaches, Winter would have fared a bit better. Actually, even with Hydralisks, it would have gone a lot better for him. I think, in reflection and with, obviously, vision of everything, the Swarm Hosts, maybe not the best choice.
Yeah, the Swarm Hosts, if you can get them out before the all-in actually hits, become a very high-quality army. One of the things about Protoss two-base all-ins, especially on Yunsu, is that the Protoss technically doesn't, if they're on equal footing at the start with the Zerg, Protoss doesn't have to attack. And
sorry to interrupt you there, but we got a cannon rush incoming.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it with double probes being sent out. That's pretty much going to be the case here. And wow, he really wants to get this series over with, it seems.
This is a very big move, and it's not something that you'll often see, because obviously Frost, 4-player spawn position, Winter going hatch first, assuming that he's safe, but by the double probes, it becomes viable. There's also some cool little things you can do. Actually, no, he's not even going to go for the nice little wall off in the back of the natural. Grubby wants this, and he wants it hard. Putting the pylon on the high ground, but it means it gets scouted immediately.
that's pretty cute, actually, with the pylon. Keeping his probe safe, but now it's also trapped, and a lot of drones being pulled off the line, and how's Grubby going to deal with this? I mean, he's the what? Did you just see that happen?
Yep, you can push probes out past impassable terrain like that. It's very, very cool.
That's so cool. I've never seen a player like of his caliber do it before, and more drones being pulled, another proxy pylon being built just to maintain energy. Second probe here comes in to help, actually. Nice cancel there on one of the cannons, and this pylon will fall. And then I think Winter is actually in not a bad position.
It's gonna be fairly close. He should be able to fend off this cannon, especially with that surround now, and should be safe. That was an optimal defense by Winter, and Grubby invested a hell of a lot to making this work.
Yeah.
He's put in even more now, but already 600 resources, or just over 600 resources spent or lost making this happen. And Winter, he's not lost anything other than mining time.
He still hasn't given up, even though he's getting ready to build a Nexus. Is he walling these drones in? That would be so funny. Okay, now we have Lynx. This really isn't gonna work anymore, and Grubby should really give up on this aggression. And actually, I'm not sure if he can even wall off his natural in time, because these Lynx will just kill everything.
There's a good number of Lynx coming out. Grubby is in some serious problems right now. Bear in mind he is 1-0 up, but he's going to have to basically cut... Well, he's going to have to wait for this pylon to finish before anything else, but the Lynx, as you said, making good progress over. Grubby has spent a huge amount of resources early game to this cannon rush, and it's done nothing.
Nope. I think this is... this kind of looks like game over. Like, these Lynx will get on top of this cannon. I actually can wall off and defend the cannon, but the question is how quickly will they burn through this pylon, or will they will just run past? And with that, I think probably, he has to pull probes, but the pylon is already forced to cancel. More Lynx are actually on their way, even drones being added on, and at this point, Winner doesn't have to fight. We can just try to take good engagement like this. Okay, he is fighting and killing quite a few probes, but gets away with a few more Lynx. Oh, such a good position here for Winner.
The cannon is going to get up for Grubby, so Grubby will stabilize. It's not... Only 4 Lings at this lower health aren't scary, but he's cut Grubby's income to 0. Interestingly, Winter taking a third base as well, so he's just happily macroing up. There's no way of denying it, Grubby is now in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. These 4 Lings, his goal should be to keep these around Grubby's mineral line for as long as possible, and to annoy him as much as possible and do as much damage as he can, killing probes, denying mining time, and he finally will trade the last few of them off, which I think is maybe a bit of a mistake, because Grubby really wants those to get out. because if you keep those links in the base, you can keep scouting and keep your opponent under pressure. And now the game has sort of stabilized for both.
Work accounts are 29 to 18 though, and remember, the third base for Winter is up and running. With that third base, he's going to be able to really up his production, really boost his economy, and Grubby is left chrono boosting out probes. But more importantly, Grubby only now starting his Cybercore. That is so late.
Yeah, there's almost no words for how late this is. I think Winter would be more than inclined to either... He already has 3 bases and they're not completely saturated, but off of this economy, he could just get away with a Roach attack or something as basic as that, because Grubby will have to tech up significantly in order to have what it takes to hold those off.
And that's, to be honest, could be a very good decision. Any kind of big timing push would be beautiful from Winter. Either just a hell of a lot of Roaches, or alternatively some Roach Hydras would be very nice. And it looks like he agrees with this. Adding in that Roach Warren, adding in the Evo Chamber, and adding in the Lair. Whether he waits for +1 or not will be interesting to see, but I quite like just to see a lot of Roaches go for this.
Yeah, lots of Roaches seems like the way to go here. We have sentries being added on for Grubby. Still hasn't made much of a tech choice, despite the fact he has... actually, he's only on 2 gases, but he could go for a Robo Bay soon after this. Yeah, Winter must be feeling pretty good about this, because being on, being on 3 bases and being this far ahead of your opponent is something everyone loves to be as a Zerg. And what can Grubby even do at this point?
Well, Grubby has now got at least some way back to normality. He's got a fair number of probes, not as many as he would have hoped, and he is teching up still nicely and just continuing on as normal, but gonna lose potentially a sentry here. Should just save it, 8 HP, that's lucky.
Whoa, he's gonna go for it, and I'm not saying that's the wrong decision, because he needs to do something to get back into this game, and playing greedily is of course one of the options, but it looks like he'll be rolling over dead in a matter of minutes from here on out.
He had to do this, or something similar. There had to be some massive greedy play, but Winter scouting this really early, and Grubby just lacking anything in the form of a defense. A photon cannon, and of course the Mothership Core may slowly work through these lings, but a cancel should be forced before that.
Yep, and now the first Roaches are actually marching already across the map. I think you should try to keep the element of surprise, because having a large amount of Roaches suddenly is so much a bigger threat.
He's going for Roach speed.
Yeah, he should hit a timing with +1, a significant amount of Roaches and Roach speed. Grubby going for double Stargate, perhaps anticipating Mutas, but yeah, that is not the case, I'm afraid.
Best thing to do now, ignore that third, head into the natural. It's not as well fortified, the army's out of position, and Grubby knows it. He's chucking down some extra pylons, Roach speed and +1, both simultaneously finishing within about 10 seconds of each other. And there's a lot of Roaches here, and just more of the way.
Triple Stargate. Not the correct choice here. Perhaps you can get a couple of Void Rays out in time, but yeah, there goes the first Void Ray, but I just feel it's kind of too late. Photon Overcharge gets deployed on the Nexus, and Winner is just going to break his way through these pylons here and try to do as much damage as he can. Nice force field there, cutting the army precisely in the way he needed it to.
Behind this, Winter adding in the Hydrogen, but loads more Roaches. That's what he's really gunning for. He's seen the Stargates, knows he needs some anti-air, so he'll have plenty of time to do that. But the Roaches, now in the main, now working through things like those assimilators, but avoiding the Photon Overcharge. There's just so many Roaches here, and so little in the way of defensive units.
Yeah, Grubby playing panic football, as we like to call it here in the Netherlands, so to speak. Finally, his first Void Ray is out. He will be able to kill off these Roaches, but at what cost?
The Nexus probably will be the cost. And with your main going down, you're always in a troublesome position. Down it falls, and there's more Roaches flooding in towards the third. If the third Nexus falls, that is probably going to be lights out.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, he still has a third Nexus, but in a matter of seconds, I'm afraid that it will change very permanently for Grubby. He has another Void Ray there. He's trying to scramble whatever he has left to defend it, but as you mentioned, it does fall, and a very nice retreat here by Winner, actually, realizing he's done the damage that he needed to do, and he could have possibly done at the most. It is now just full on transitioning into Hydras with The range upgrade for the Hydras, +2 attack. Grubby really has no answer to this.
The Void Rays, great against obviously the Roaches, but once the Hydralisks are there, they can't trade head on, and that's where we're going to see Winter take this game. Grubby, in honesty, doesn't really have anything that he can do now.
Yep.
And he knows it.
He knows it. GG.